And moving down to the bottom of page 133, let's go ahead and go over these problems. The directions here say identify the quadrant where the point is located. So again, I'm just going to go over this. We have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, we go counterclockwise, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Okay, quadrant 1 is always going to be positive, positive. Quadrant 2, if we go on the x-axis, we have to move to the left, which to the left would be negative, and then up from the y-axis, which would be positive, so it's going to be negative, positive. The quadrant 3, we have to move to the left, and then down, so that's all down here, it's going to be negative, negative. And quadrant 4 is positive on the x-axis. Remember, this is the x-axis, y is in the sky. It's going to be positive. We're moving to the right on the x-axis, and then down or negative along the y-axis. Okay, so negative, negative, that tells us we're in quadrant 3. Positive, positive tells us we're in quadrant 1. Negative, positive, which quadrant would we be in? So I want you to do 13 on your own. And then 14 is positive, negative. I want you to do number 14 on your own. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that and then complete 13, 14 on your own. When you're done, just resume the video. Okay, the 2 points are reflections of each other across the x or y axis. Identify the axis. So again, we have to look at the x's and then the y's. If the x's are the same, which in this case they are, that means they're reflections across the x-axis. Okay. I want you to go ahead and try 16 on your own. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that now. Complete 16 and then come back. Okay, 17. We look at the x's and then the y's. So the x's, this x is positive 15, this x is negative 15. So they are opposites, so that doesn't help. The y, though, is negative 20, negative 20. They are the same. So that tells us since the y's are the ones that are the same, it's a reflection across the y-axis. Okay, give the reflection of the point across the given axis. So it tells us that this point, negative 7, we want the point that's a reflection across the y-axis. So that means we have an x and a y. Our y needs to be the same since it's across the y-axis. So the y's are the same and the x's need to be opposites. So negative 7, positive 7. Okay. Let me do one more here. So here we have negative 15 in the x position and a positive 18 in the y. It tells us it's reflected across the x-axis, so that means our x's need to be the same. So negative 15, and then our y's need to be opposites. So negative 15, negative 18. I'll let you go ahead and do 20 on your own. That's reflected across the x-axis, so your x's need to be the same, your y's need to be opposites. If you have a question, raise your hand. I expect 16, 13, 14, and 20 all to be done by you on your own in your textbook when I come around. All right, thanks again.